wearing what appeared to be a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton hat. Isn't that nice? Probably stolen too. And a black medical mask. There he is. Wow. During a review of these transaction records, law enforcement observed another transaction for a hotel stay at the Motel 6. Oh, we're getting hot, baby. Now, it's not good. Not good when it's Homeland especially. So then he made 5 purchases using Kristi Noem's credit card, $205 on her tab. Oh no. Busted! The purse thief who took Kristi Noem's purse at dinner on Easter Sunday, the day of our Lord and Savior's resurrection, has now been caught. You see, this is the statement of facts that was submitted in the DC District Court in front of Maxila Upadhyay. And we're going to see what happened with this one because there are photographs inside of Kristi Noem's purse being seized, stolen away from her by somebody who is an illegal alien. Mario Bustamante Livia, who is a 49-year-old Chilean national who was in the United States illegally, and he stole the Department of Homeland Security's purse, secretary's purse, was arrested on April 26 over the weekend on a criminal complaint charging 4 things: wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, robbery, 3 things as I said, and in connection with 3 purse snatchings in the district and unauthorized use of credit cards. Wow, so maybe not just Kristi's. The charges were announced by Ed Martin in conjunction with the Secret Service. Initial appearance in the district court is pending. So this guy already had an unrelated fugitive warrant out. So he was in the superior courts, like the city court, for fugitive warrants from other places. And ICE has now got a detainer against him. But we had other victims. So it's not just Kristi Noem. We had, of course, Kristi Noem, and we had another one on April 17th and another one on April 20th. So this guy's just snatching purses all over the place. So they made this announcement. Of course, we have the new criminal statement of facts that has been filed against this person. And here is what is inside, presumably coming in from Metro PD, Secret Service, and others. The following statement of facts is submitted in support of a criminal complaint charging the illegal purse snatcher Mario with violations of the U.S. Code. Wire fraud, we got robbery in here, ag ID, and more. Saying, as described below, there's probable cause to believe he committed 3 robberies. We got April 12th between that date and April 20th. And following the robbery, he made fraudulent purchases using the credit cards of each victim. Now, as we go on, it tells us that Mario was placed under arrest by members of the Metro PD and the United States Secret Service, saying that we're going to describe the 3 robbery offenses in order as they were investigated. So let's see which one is which. Now, on April 17th, MPD officers first responded to Washington, D.C., 999 9th Street and Northwest. What a great name. Says, for the report of a theft, victim 1 reported that while she was having dinner, an unknown suspect, accordingly Mario, stole her purse while it was hanging on the back of her chair. The bag contained credit cards and other IDs. Also advised law enforcement that someone tried to use her Amex at a Safeway. She filed a report her driver's license had been stolen, but did not have an interest in seeing an arrest made. Wow. So this person's like, well, whatever. They probably needed it more than I did. So someone stole her purse on the back of the chair. This person didn't care. Victim 1 did not have an interest in seeing an arrest made or further investigation conducted. Was it like Senator Van Hollen? Was he the victim who had his purse stolen? He's like, that's okay. I want to go have a margarita with them. Not a big deal. I don't know. He didn't care too much. All right. So he's cool with that. On Tuesday, April 22nd, another officer called Anthony Perlman reviewed footage from the Westin hotel. Victim 1 was dining when her purse was stolen. Officer Perlman also conducted a follow-up interview with the first victim, number 1. Perlman determined that on April 17th, 2 unauthorized transactions were made using the first Amex at the Safeway. First transaction, 935-1212, just see if it works. Second transaction, oh, boom, right? 407.95. Oh, it worked. Okay, great. So let's go load up the cart. Perfect, it worked. Let's just run it again. $407. Officer Perlman reviewed checkout transaction records from Safeway and determined that the 1212 charge was for a bottle of Josh Cabernet Sauvignon wine. Wow. And the 407 charge was for an Amex gift card, right? So use her credit card to then get a clean credit card and then take that. Now, your affiant is aware that the activation of and transactions of an Amex gift card are processed by Incom Payments. Now, all activations on Incom products are in servers in Atlanta, Georgia. Boom, wire fraud. Now, Officer Perlman obtained surveillance footage from the Westin Hotel for the evening of April 17th. That surveillance captured Mario, the purse thief, walk across the lobby into the dining area at approximately 9:15 p.m. In the video, Mario appeared short and was wearing a hat, a black coat with a logo on the left sleeve, and a pronounced white collar on the left side of the neck, black pants, and sneakers with what happened to be a Nike logo on the side. Now, Mario, the thief, allegedly, was wearing a backpack and was holding more clothing in his left arm. Here he comes in the door, looking very sneaky and suspicious already. So comes barreling through that door with the hat on. Bustamante walked behind victim 1, who was eating dinner with her family. In the video, same thing, purse purse is visible hanging on the back of her chair. Now, Mario approached the kitchen area. He stood there for a few minutes holding a coat in his left arm, as you see right there. Very sneaky, Mario. Here's another one. Oh, he's got his mark. He's got his little COVID mask on, and all the liberals are like, well, he's just protecting himself from a virus. So then this woman is seated here, and all of a sudden, that purse that she thinks is nice and protected gets snatched up. At approximately 9:18 p.m., Mario walked behind victim number one as she was just seated there. And as he did so, his left arm, which was covered with a coat, brushed over her chair, swooped it right up. As Mario walked past the chair, the purse that had been attached to her chair was gone, like a magician. It's gone. He proceeded to exit the Westin at 9:20 p.m. right out the door. Gone with the wind. Nobody could see where he went. Now he's gone. There it is. It's me. Look, it's gone. Purse gone immediately. And she's just sitting there eating her dinner like a nice person, being attacked and having her property stolen without her notice. Now, Bustamante then walked past victim one, and then it was no longer there. So then Officer Perlman went over to Safeway. Said, all right, this dude just bought an Amex here. Said, I'd like to get the security footage because an Amex that was stolen was used here 15 minutes after the theft of her purse. So recreating the timeline. Perlman said, I want that video that corresponds with this transaction of that $400 Amex gift card. So the surveillance footage that Safeway captured got the guy, Mario, entering the Safeway. There are two camera angles that cover the entrance of the Safeway, a side angle and a front-facing angle. The side angle camera captured Bustamante entering the Safeway wearing the same clothing that he had at the Westin. Black coat, white on the collar, logo on the left arm, as well as a coat hanging over his left arm. Now, the front-facing camera captured Mario wearing what appeared to be a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton hat. Isn't that nice? Probably stolen too. And a black medical mask. There he is. Wow. Just having a field day in America. He's like, I'm illegal. No one knows anything about me. Just stealing whatever I want, buying Gucci hats. Life's amazing. So Officer Perlman then reviewed the surveillance footage. This guy went out checkout lane, 9:33 p.m. He purchased a bottle of Josh Cabernet wine. He's going to go celebrate his theft. And used her credit card. Now, this purchase matched the transaction receipt that Safeway gave to him. So he was initially appeared to look like he was having difficulty making this purchase, but ultimately the transaction was approved. He's like, zip code on this. I ran it as debit. Dang it, I don't know. Let me just run it as credit. Credit goes through. Perfect. So then he went to an unmanned registered and waited in line to purchase the gift card. At 9:45, he then successfully purchased the gift card. That was the big one. And then left the Safeway northbound at 9:47. Going to come back to this because that gift card, 3742, the one that he purchased, right, converted those funds, was not activated or used, but he definitely purchased it. And in order to purchase that and activate it, right, that's transferring data across state lines. So then you see, oh, there it is, Mario, trying to get a little sauced up there, buying a little bottle of wine after his victory on the night. 12:12, little Josh Cabernet Sauvignon. 9:35, he used the credit card. Here's another angle on the camera. Looking down, same Gucci hat, matches the same face that we saw previously. So then we got Metro PD. They're canvassing for video to try to figure out where this dude went, going, up the street, down the street. Where was he observed? Now, while doing so, we got additional surveillance footage captured of this dude wearing a pair of camouflage pattern shoes, and we learned of additional incidents associated with this investigation. Law enforcement then determined that prior to Mario stealing number one and her purse, he appeared to have committed a similar theft at a coffee shop called Dolcezza. Sounds expensive. Surveillance video provided to the MPD Metro Police in Washington, D.C. and by the Mint Police captured Mario near the coffee shop from earlier the evening on April 17th. Now, Perlman then recovered additional surveillance video from the coffee shop that captured him again standing in line, 8:47. In that video, he appears to be wearing the same clothing he wore during the theft at the Westin and while he was making fraudulent purchases at the Safeway using another Amex card, right? So same outfit, following the dude. Here he is again. Looks like we're looking through a piece of glass or something. We got some reverse text right there. It kind of obscures some what we're looking at. Bunch of faces blocked out, but they followed the dude. A zoomed in still image of Bustamante, Mario, standing in line near the coffee shop near a group of customers. So he's waiting. Now he's going to get some caffeine for his next heist. While standing in line at the coffee shop, Mario positioned himself so that he was standing next to a group of customers who were seated at an outdoor table. You saw it probably before I did, didn't you? Look at that big, fat, juicy purse right there. Oh, baby. So he takes a look at something. He says, while standing near the table, Bustamante used his left leg to pull a tan shoulder bag towards him. I think he did the same leg move with Kristi, which we're going to find out about in a minute. The leg move. Wow. So he 2 for 2 with the leg move. We all know the leg move. That's how you steal that thing from your sibling, just they're kind of asleep, kind of just nudge that over. Give me that. Now, Mario then proceeded to lean down and take a rectangular item from the shoulder bag. The rectangular item appeared consistent with the shape and the size of a wallet or purse. Great. So then Mario then left the coffee shop, probably to go back to his barber shop where he was going to do makeup and plant food for all of us to eat, and appeared to look at the menu before exiting the shop and walking towards the Westin. He's like, you know, since I just stole this nice woman's purse, wallet, how about I just go buy myself a dinner now? The Westin is approximately 1 block away from the coffee shop. Yeah, so then he takes it, right, stole someone else's private property, and then just walks down like it ain't nothing. A zoomed in still image of Mario reaching down into a customer's shoulder bag to remove what appears to be a purse or wallet. And thieves are just disgusting, don't they? Just make you just So then this is him leaving the coffee shop, and he's stealing from, it looks, you know, it's just innocent people. So then he goes from the Westin, here's the coffee shop, and if you're familiar with DC, maybe this looks familiar to you. Little yard house over there, all right. So then he walks from the coffee shop, walks over down here to the Westin, just ripping off ladies. Now, on or about April 21st, something else happens. U.S. Secret Service disseminated a bolo. Be on the lookout for MPD depicting the suspect involved in the April 20th robbery. Here it is. Yeah, be on the lookout. Flyer was disseminated early in the investigation by using figure 20 or a close likeness of it. So then they went back up here. They got figure 20. We'll come back down to that. And they shared that everywhere. In response, a police officer with Metro PD made an ID of the suspect, providing a name and date of birth. Like, oh, I know that dude. That individual's information is known to law enforcement and is available to the court should it be necessary. Now, others were able to determine through the Justice portal that this individual was in custody at the time of the offense, awaiting a mental competency hearing as well of the suspect. So that was maybe another ID. Okay, so this is a little bit confusing. So maybe the person who made the ID and is connecting the dots, but is in mental competency hearings, not this person. Now, in response to the be on the lookout, Officer Perlman contacted the Secret Service with an ID of the suspect, right? So they send the bolo, someone makes this note. So the person who made the ID is in mental competency hearings. So like, well, maybe that person is not a great source to ID this dude because he's not all that well. So just on the notice, Judge, right? This ID might be questionable. But Officer Perlman has also provided information that appeared to connect the April 20th robbery to a series of offenses that had occurred in DC. That's number one, right? So somebody else kind of fingered this dude. Officer Perlman then and Detective David Gargak, what's up, David, shared their investigation with the Secret Service in a joint effort to locate and apprehend Mario. So then to be on the lookout for the suspect in the April 20th Capitol Burger robbery. That was the Kristi Noem theft when she was there on Easter Sunday of all days with her family. Depicted a short white male, possibly Asian or Hispanic, wearing a black coat with white fur on the collar, gray pants, an unknown brand hat, unknown brand sneakers. Now, the bolo images of Mario in the checkout line appeared to show Mario wearing the same coat. So like the hat's different. It's not the same Gucci hat, not the same sneakers, but the coat looks the same. Now, as part of this investigation, law enforcement went to homeless shelters and service centers in close proximity to the Safeway. An employee at a nearby community services center recognized this individual in the bolo from surveillance video of a theft had occurred at a Nandos several days later, okay? So this dude is just ripping off everybody everywhere. Perlman contacted Nandos. What happened to you guys? Yeah, that dude. Is this guy? Yeah, it's him. On Saturday, April 12th at 8:30 p.m., victim number 2 then reported another crime, saying her purse had been taken from the back of her chair while she was dining at the Nandos restaurant located in Washington, D.C. Law enforcement recovered surveillance video from the Nandos that captured Mario stealthily removing victim number 2's purse from the back of her chair and exiting the Nandos. During this offense, Mario appeared to be acting in concert with illegal number 2, suspect number 2. Now, victim number 2 provided law enforcement with transaction records from her debit and credit cards that were stolen from her purse. As a result, law enforcement have been able to exclude him as having participated in the events above. Up here, your client and others were able to determine he was in custody and he's not a part of it, right? So he's in custody. The guy who ID'd him did not participate. He's currently in custody, but he's also in mental competency proceedings. All right, so that was from the prior footnote. Now, those records indicate that an unauthorized transaction, victim number 2 had her credit card stolen and used. So then we got surveillance footage. Oh, look who it is. Video back from Nando's exterior. They captured Mario and suspect number 2 as they walked past the establishment. It was 8:30 p.m. They paused outside for several seconds. They looked through the front window. They're like, any purses in there that are ripe for our snatching? Suspect number 2 entered Nando's while Bustamante removed his jacket and draped it over his left arm. Oh, he's getting ready to do the old scam, Mario. So then he placed the jacket similar to how he carried his jacket during the April 17th robbery. He's got this nice little scam going. Additionally, the jacket worn by him appeared to be the same jacket. Well, of course it is. It's like he's just snatching all these purses. Like, this is my lucky little robbery jacket. It's crushing it. So circled in red, there he is, taking his jacket off, puts his backpack down and saying, okay, perfect. Maybe a whole backpack full of purses in there, this dude. Once inside Nando's, suspect number 2 and Mario approached the table where victim number 2 was seated and stood by. Suspect number 2 appeared to position himself to block the back of the chair from view. Yeah, so it's a little duo. So he's blocking the cameras. Well, he comes in and snatches it off. Mario continued to move closer to victim 2 and grabbed victim number 2's purse while simultaneously using his jacket to conceal the purse, and then they departed the Nandos. Total scum. So some nice lady sitting there. These two illegal aliens who invaded our country are just robbing people blind. So then after leaving Nandos, these two barbershops and farm workers people traveled to Safeway in a different place. So then they entered Safeway again and committed more fraud. Suspect number 2 purchased a $500 Visa gift card, once again using victim number 2's credit card, saying that that had been stolen about half an hour prior. Now, surveillance captured these two departing the Safeway at 8:11 p.m. Suspect number 2 also entered the Safeway just a few minutes later. This officer stating, "I'm aware that the activation and the transactions of the Visa gift cards are also done by in-com payments." And guess what? Those are in Atlanta, Georgia as well. And we got more photos. Here's this one saying Officer Perlman got the transaction codes for the Visa gift card, which revealed a phone number used to check the balance of the gift card. Oh, the records also documented approximately $462 worth of charges. So they call in, they're like, is there any more of our stolen funds that we got here? Because they're doing a startup for a farming business to be entrepreneurs in America. These records and the investigation were shared with the Secret Service. Like, oh, they're calling from this number now. You guys might want to check this number. They were investigating the robbery at Capitol Burger, which is Kristi Noem's theft. During a review of these transaction records, law enforcement observed another transaction for a hotel stay at the Motel 6. Oh, we're getting hot, baby. Like, oh man, this is great. We're having tons of fun. They're all taking siestas, having margaritas with the Democrats. They invited Chris Van Hollen over there to come hang out with Mazi Hirono. They're having mojitos and just enjoying themselves. So like, let's stay at a Motel 6. Let's just take the load off. So then there was another April 14th transaction at the Quality Inn and another one at a 7-Eleven, traveling all over the place. Additionally, numerous charges were made at a metro station and more. So then Officer Perlman, who's like hot on the scent now, he's like, oh, perfect. They're using it. Got Metro PD investigators who flagged smart trip cards the suspect added money to using the fraudulently purchased gift cards, which is, you know, now they're driving around, traveling around with their stolen cards and just scanning it and the Metro. Oh, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Like, oh, perfect. Thanks for telling us. So then Metro provided clear images of Mario and the suspect, both without face masks because they're not doing any robbing that day. So they don't need to worry about killing grandma with their N95s on April 15th when they were going to the King Street Metro. Now, these images are from surveillance video that captured Mario and suspect number 2 after they used the Visa gift card that was purchased using the stolen credit card. Here are these two. Wow. In one of these images provided by the Metro Transport PD, Mario is carrying a black jacket with a white collar that appears to be identical to the jacket that he wore during the 12th, 17th, and 20th offenses. Okay. And these two must have just been doing this for, I mean, like hundreds. You got to imagine hundreds, maybe thousands of this stuff going on. Just enjoying themselves, just ripping off everybody. Sick. Now then, they also provided MPD personnel with his last movements related to the smart card. Like, oh, well, this is the last he just got off over here. The transaction showed Bustamante enter DuPont Circle Metro Station and exit at Silver Springs about 30 minutes later. In the video from the Silver Springs station, Mario is wearing a navy collared shirt, camouflage sneakers. The camouflage sneakers appear to match the sneakers that he was wearing during the other offense at the Westin Hotel where he stole that other woman's stuff. This is Mario, right? So this is the jacket that he continues to drape over himself. These are very, I would say, conspicuous sneakers. They kind of stand out. You can see here's more camouflage. There's the camouflage. Puts the face mask back on. Probably going to go steal some more stuff. Feeling like I'm going to go steal some stuff today. Went to Whole Foods. Probably maybe stole all that. Who knows? But Metro PD then and members, they conducted follow-up canvasses to other locations linked to the Visa gift card transaction. So they said, okay, got this dude's whole, you know, laundry list of where this guy's been. They go to Motel 6. They see everything that happened in there after Adam Schiff and Van Hollen and Mazi Hirono got out of there. They're like, oh gosh, we're going to have to call Homeland Security, get the biohazmat team out here. So then law enforcement received information from Motel 6 reservations. They decided to just burn the whole building down and payment systems. And so they found out, in seriousness though, that they did use suspect number 2, the $500 Visa gift card to pay for a room through booking.com. And suspect number 2 provided his name for the reservation. Now, no camera footage of the Motel 6 stay was available. Yeah, they don't have cameras at those places. I don't want cameras there. No, we don't have any cameras. Officer Perlman, are you crazy? Conducted a law enforcement database search, which revealed a recent pawn transaction. Wow, conducted by suspect number 2 in Maryland. The pawn search and follow-up provided a New York City ID card and phone number for suspect 2. We're hot on the case. The latter of which is different than the phone number associated with the booking.com reservation. All right, let's see where this goes. Now, later that same evening, law enforcement received information from Quality Inn as to particular details of the transactions involving the Visa card between April 14th and April 16th. As part of the booking and the check-in process at Quality Inn, the customer was required to provide ID. At the time of the booking, suspect number 2 again provided the same name name that he gave to Motel 6. Quality Inn front desk staff reported to law enforcement that Mario and number 2 were together at the time of their check-in. When number 2 checked in at the Quality Inn, he was required to provide a payment method and ID. So suspect number 2 provided the fraudulently obtained Visa gift card for payment and a counterfeit California ID card in his name, the former being recovered during a ladder search of Mario's room that he was occupying at the time of his April 26th arrest. So here's some more photos. So vanillagift.com, they buy that. That's the Visa gift debit card. And then Mario looks like fake number 2, right? So suspect number 2, they don't give us his name yet. So law enforcement obtained surveillance videos from Quality Inn. They got Mario inside the lobby and the same dude who looks like number 2 with Mario outside the hotel. So Metro PD and Secret Service then, they speak with Quality Inn staff. They say, did you guys talk to this guy? Yeah, we did. Notice anything about him? Well, yeah, there was an incident actually. Mario got into a verbal altercation with the shift manager over his refusal to return to his assigned room after being asked to do so when he was intoxicated. So this guy's hammered drunk, stole some lady's credit card multiple times, goes into Safeway, buys a bottle of wine, sloshes it back. Now he's committing disorderly conduct in the middle of a hotel scene. Go back to your room. He doesn't know where he is. The staff member was interviewed, but did not recall the exact time that he checked out, but he did leave behind a black Samsung cell phone that was recovered by the staff. Wow. So this drunk illegal alien thief is leaving behind his cell phones because what does he care? He's going to go steal someone else's. Not a big deal. So they recovered it. Secret Service got that. Now that's evidence. Oops. So then Metro PD also got surveillance footage of the 7-Eleven. Now this 7-Eleven and the Quality Inn, they're about 600 feet apart right down the corner. Law enforcement determined that the Visa gift card, which was stolen, it had been purchased using the credit card, had been used at 6:30 p.m. Surveillance footage again captured Mario in the store. In that video, Mario is wearing what appears to be the same black coat with a white collar and camouflage sneakers that he wore in the prior robbery. So same dude, same outfit. Now in the evening hours of April 20th, an individual, here we go, under the protection of the United States Secret Service, hereinafter called Victim 3, aka a Kristi Noem, was dining at the Capital Burger restaurant located in Washington, D.C. Now while at that restaurant, Victim 3, Kristi Noem, noticed that her purse that she had placed at her feet was now missing, okay, under the table next to my feet. Kristi Noem. Victim 3 alerted her Secret Service detail, who in turn ultimately alerted the Secret Service Washington field office. Now, Kristi Noem then provided an itemized list of the property that was stolen from her purse, including several personal credit cards, her U.S. government personal ID verification card. Members of the Uniform Division of the Secret Service then classified the offense as robbery stealth and prepared a police report describing the general circumstances of the offense. The U.S. Washington field office, Secret Service, and other personnel reviewed and obtained video from the Capitol Burger. Now, in relevant part, Mario entered the business at 7:52 p.m. He sat at a table within arm's reach of Kristi Noem, which is just wild to me. Like, did he have a reservation? Did he sit and was he going to like order something? Was he seated? Or he just walked in and like the hostess, nobody's like, who is this dude just walking in here? Strange. And just sat down at a table. So any person from society can just walk in and sit next to one of the most powerful people in the world. Our Secret Service, man, I don't know what they're doing. We were joking this morning that maybe the floors in there were sloped and they didn't know what to do or where to stand. But Bustamante sat down in the chair closest to Kristi Noem and pushed the chair back from his table, one of these moves, in the direction of Kristi Noem. He's doing one of these in an effort to get closer to her belongings. Yeah. Then the suspect looked down, likely in the direction of her purse. Then there's a child running around in the corner, milling around nearby. CCTV footage from the Capitol Burger captured the victim, Kristi Noem's purse, at her feet at the base of the chair, so it's down there, and in the immediate possession of her. Okay, it's right tucked by her feet. So then Mario, right there it is. Wow, look at that. Okay, so here's what we got. We got a scene here. There's Mario. He's like reading a book, try studying for his PhD so he can contribute to America and improve our nation and our society and our culture. So then Kristi Noem is seated over here with her family, trying to protect America and celebrate Easter. This dude is here studying. Seconds later, Bustamante Mario, the scholar, twisted his body left towards Noem's purse and just moved his left leg. You know that move, that leg move I talked about earlier, like when you need the remote. Usually you're not stealing somebody's purse. Sometimes you're, irritating your younger brother or whatever. But most of the time, like you use the leg move, like we've all done it, but it's to get the remote. You just want to like just nudge that remote over. God, gosh, it's over there. And you get it and you catch it like, yeah, gold medal Olympian right here. So it's the same thing. We're all familiar with it. He moved his leg. And I don't know, apparently Homeland Security, Secret Service are not familiar with the leg move. I've been familiar with it since I'm like 3 years old, but they also had troubles on roofs. Anyway, simultaneous to that movement, an object determined to be victim 3's purse was seen moving out of camera view and in the direction of Mario. The video then captured the suspect bend down with his jacket in one hand and with his other hand pick up an object from the floor that law enforcement determined to be the purse. The entirety of the reference video is in possession of the Secret Service. So that's it. It was just a leg move. That's all. Okay, so Secret Service has trouble with sloped roofs and legs. You're gonna need some more leg training. Here's a close-up shot. Here's the victim's purse. Nobody else. This is the weirdest stuff, man. There's nobody else in the room. This guy just walks in and sits down like there's nobody at that table. Why is that guy sitting at the table? I'm sure the Secret Service was like, you know, giving them their space because it's Easter, whatever. This dude comes in, he starts eyeballing Kristi Noem. He's at a table, there's nobody else there. Obviously suspicious as hell. And he just does one of these? Does one of these moves over here to get it? Are you kidding me? We're in big trouble, man. There it is. He got it. There it is. Purse gone. Incredible. He's off with the win. He's like Jason Bourne. He's like 007, Mission Impossible. Ethan Hunt just came in here, like dangled from the rooftop and stole the purse with a leg sweep. So Bustamante Mario then got up from his seat and exited. He's like, oh, perfect. Just stole it. And Homeland and Secret Service are all just sitting around, I guess, waiting for their hors d'oeuvres to get there. Then he exited the business. Nobody asked any questions about what some random dude was coming in doing. And Mario appeared on video to be an older, lighter skinned male, medium to heavy set build, wearing a dark colored jacket with a thick white collar and a white emblem on the left arm. He also had a white COVID style mask, a dark colored hat with the square shaped logo on the front of it. A photo of Mario was shared with law enforcement. They got this dude. He's coming in just like, that's a good snatch too, by the way. Like on the back of the chair, you know, that's pretty amateur. You kind of just, okay, it's on the back of the chair. Just put something over your arm. It's not the crime of the century. You got it. But doing a leg sweep in the middle of an empty restaurant, pretty bold. So they got it. During the course of the investigation, Secret Service personnel conducted an extensive canvas for video that would have captured Mario's travel both before the robbery and after the robbery of Kristi Noem. Now, this section contains information learned by the Secret Service personnel as to the suspect's travel before the offense. So where'd this guy come from, right? They definitely put all eyes on this dude. Here's what they wrote. Law enforcement determined that Mario arrived in the immediate area of the offense by taking a bus operated by Washington Metro. Now, it was determined that an individual consistent in description to Mario boarded the bus at this location at 7:38. Prior to getting on the bus, Mario was observed 1 block north of the bus stop. They got footage of that and they got him with clarity. So that photo's a much higher resolution photo without obstruction. It was immediately apparent to investigators upon being provided this image that this guy was Mario. They said, yep, based on the clothing, physical characteristics, this was the guy who robbed Kristi Noem. Like everybody know, that got him. Yep, they've been looking at this dude for a while, got him. So then he took the bus towards another area, exiting a short time later. They got him on this corner right near the convention center. He's leaving the bus at 7:44 p.m. Now the video footage captured a medium to heavy set built male wearing a dark colored jacket with a thick white collar, jeans, white style COVID mask, dark style colored hat with the square logo on the front of it. Boom, there it is. Coming on or off the bus. I think off the bus. Here's another one with the collar. You see the collar right there. You see the collar right there. You see the logo right there. After unlawfully stealing Kristi Noem's purse and related property, Mario fled on foot in an eastward direction towards Massachusetts Avenue. Secret Service and their investigative efforts determined that he had discarded Kristi Noem's driver's license in the vicinity of the 600 block. So gets the purse, go, okay, just looking for the cash, don't need this crap. He then subsequently boarded another bus in Chinatown. An individual matching the description of Mario was later observed exiting the bus at 8:34. Hops on a bus, he's gone. Now, after exiting the bus, he then walked across the street to the Angolo Ristorante Italiano restaurant to have himself some lasagna. After initially sitting down at a table within the restaurant, he decided to sit at the bar where he stayed until midnight. Now, while at the bar, he successfully used Kristi Noem's credit card to buy food and alcohol. So this dude was just enjoying it up with lasagna and meatballs, huh? Just having garlic bread, platter after platter, garlic. Yeah, bring another one out. Gosh. All on Kristi Noem's credit card. It's terrible. Wow. Probably delicious though. Anyways, shouldn't have done it. Now, it's not good. Not good when it's Homeland especially. So then he made 5 purchases using Kristi Noem's credit card. $205 on her tab. Oh no. Whoa, look at this. Phoenix, Arizona shout out. Says, your fine is aware that American Express's servers are located in Phoenix, Arizona. And so he was committing wire fraud by using the American Express credit card from Kristi Noem to communicate with Arizona. There it is. There's Kristi's credit card, baby. Right there on the table. He's like, more meatballs, baby. Another round of meatballs. Keep them coming. Surveillance Surveillance footage from the restaurant captured Mario in possession of some of Kristi's property. He's got her purse, he's got her stolen wallet, he's got one of her credit cards, the latter of which the restaurant was able to match the 2 transactions made by him. And they're like, that's wild. The restaurant's like, Kristi Noem? That's crazy. You don't even look alike at all. Okay, we're running this stuff. Bustamante Mario appeared on surveillance video to be wearing a dark jacket with a white emblem. Dude, this dude bit off way more than he can chew. He had no idea what he was in for, did he? And a thick white collar, jeans, dark hat, square logo, and the COVID mask. So there he is. Look at him, just lounging it up. He's got the purse right there on the bar. It's like, bro, what are you doing with a purse on the bar here in an Italian restaurant, getting sloshed on meatballs, lasagna, and some Italian vino? So Secret Service personnel determined through their review of the surveillance footage that while Mario was patronizing the restaurant on Kristi Noem's dime, he plugged in a cell phone to charge it up. After leaving the restaurant, he was observed by the same surveillance system falling asleep at an outdoor table. Hammered drunk. This guy's crazy, dude. Where he remained until 7:30 in the morning. This guy is crazy, okay? This dude is just having the time of his life. Why not? You break into the country, you steal everybody's purse you can. You go, you just get hammered drunk, you slosh yourself with lasagna every night, doesn't matter. Just go to a new restaurant and just pass out on the bench with the rest of the bums in Washington. It's basically what Congress does. They steal all of our stuff, they go treat themselves, they get drunk, they pass out, and they wake up the next morning. It's not any different. So he's just like, this is illegal? This whole town is doing this. What are you talking about? Everybody's stealing from the people. I was just doing what our politicians do in America. God bless America. This is America, isn't it? What are you mad at me for? The Capitol's right over there. They're doing it to everybody. Says the following morning, he woke up drunk or hungover. Wow, that was crazy. Okay, who are we robbing today? So then he was last observed on surveillance video walking eastbound near the Four Seasons in Georgetown. So then we go on. So then on April 26th, the Secret Service learned about this report, 2501 in numbers, from the Montgomery County Police Department in Silver Spring, Maryland. Oh, another Maryland man, you know, like I said, studying for his PhD, in which Mario identified himself to law enforcement and said he was the victim of a theft. Wow, that's rich. So he's like on a revenge tour. On April 19th, so Mario, MCPD officers responded to a theft. Once on scene, they met with Mario. This dude called the cops. They had a Spanish interpreting officer, because of course he can't even speak English, advised the following. They said at 2 a.m., Mario, who has no fixed address and is currently unhoused, obviously he just stays at hotels and steals from people, sleeps on the bench. He fell asleep in a bench in front of a park around 2 a.m. Then when he woke up, someone stole all of his belongings. Can you believe this crap? So he called the cops to get it back, because stealing is wrong in America. He advised that several things in the bag were stolen. My shoes were gone. My Chilean passport was gone. $1,000 in cash that I stole from Kristi Noem and other people were gone. Now, he was somewhat uncooperative, of course, smelled heavily of an alcoholic beverage because he's an entitled illegal alien who broke into our country, he's hammered drunk, passing out on benches, probably getting accolades from the Democratic Party and screaming at the cops, where's my stolen stuff? Wow. Below is a summary of the fraudulent expenses made by this poetry scholar. Says, below is a summary of the fraudulent expenditures. Here's what we've got. Stolen credit cards. Victim number 2, Visa gift card, $507. We know that one. We also got the $409 on victim 1. We also then $205 on Kristi Noem's credit card when he was getting plastered on lasagna. Then we got his arrest. Now, from the date of his purchase of the Amex gift card using the first person stolen card, Officer Perlman periodically checked through the gift card payment provider for activity on the card. The payment provider's fraud investigators also monitored the card for after hours activity and over the weekend. So then on April 26th, a fraud investigator checked the Amex card's transactions. They said, oh, got one. Officer Perlman, what's up? Detective Gargat, check it out. The Amex gift card had been activated, was now using a cell phone number ending in 5732. The fraud investigator further advised that the gift card had been used to make a purchase at Motel 6. Got him. 10:24 a.m. Boom. Officer Perlman calls Secret Service police, who determined the phone number was used to activate the gift card. It was a T-Mobile number. Using commercial databases, boom, law enforcement determined that the phone number is registered to Marie Bustamante is the name. Now, additionally, law enforcement was aware that Mario and suspect number 2 had previously stayed at this location before on the 12th and the 13th using another gift card purchased with the funds from credit card number 1. Investigators responded to Motel 6 and queried the reservation system for the last 4 digits of the Amex gift card ending in 3742. The second result on the list nailed them. Reservation starting April 21st, extending through April 27th. They say, oh, well, let's like today. The name provided for this reservation was Mario Bustamante. Room 311. The reservation revealed that Mario likely used a photocopy of a Chilean passport in the name of Mario Bustamante Leiva as an ID. So now we've got ID and name, and we've got basically everything, right? All cell phone, clothing matches, video footage, watch multiple different scenes, multiple different angles, following this dude left and right, getting on up buses, going to Chinatown, all the places. Surveillance footage of the check-in was also reviewed. They said, boom, we got him. Faiths and clothing again. So then they're like, oh, they're probably here. Should we go say hello? Let's go say hello. So investigators then knocked on the door of room 311. And guess who came to the door? It's me, Mario. Hello. Hey, Mario, answered the door. He's like, what's going on? U.S. Secret Service and Metro Police recognized Mario as the suspect in the 12th, 17th, and 20th incidents, all standing around right there. She's going, oh, he must have had a bad day. He had a bad moment. So MPD then placed him under arrest and escorted him to the lobby of the hotel. Like, you know who we are? He's like, yeah. Secret Service and Metro Police secured the scene. They continued to hold room 311 secure until they secured a search warrant. Then they transported him to the hospital after complaining of alcohol withdrawal. There you go. He's an alcoholic. So once he goes to the hospital, you know, he's probably detoxing, just melting down. Once cleared from the hospital, he was then transported to be interviewed by MPD and Secret Service. And he's having a rough time coming out of that booze detox. Now, Mario then is brought down where he's interviewed. Officers Perlman and Gargak and U.S. Special Agent May digging into him, saying that he is primarily Spanish speaking. Thus, Detective Benjamin was also there to act as a translator. The interview was video and audio recorded. This is a short summary of the interview. He was advised of his Miranda rights and subsequently waived them. Good. He was first shown a body-worn camera photograph of himself from April 19th, a report he made about being the victim of the theft. They said, is this you? Do you remember when you called us and we came to come help you? He says, yeah, I do. That is me. I remember. He said, do you remember what happened? He said, yeah, 5 black males had robbed me. 5 black guys came and robbed you while you were asleep on the bench? Wild story. Yep, that's me. I remember. They stole all my stuff. Now, he was wearing what appeared to be the same black coat with white fur in the photograph that he was shown. He says, yeah, it's you, right? Because it's the same jacket. You're wearing it right there, right? He observed wearing on the surveillance video during the other offenses. Now, he then stated, well, I'm an alcoholic, which is clear, and therefore he's got memory issues. Yeah, so I don't remember. Now, during the interview, he admitted to stealing Kristi Noem's bag. Busted. Admissions are bad for the defendant. He stated that the purse in the bag was underneath the chair and he used his feet like a stealth secret ninja to evade scrutiny from the entire national security apparatus put in place to defect our high priority VIPs with a little leg. Slide it out from underneath the chair. Homeland's like, that's smart. Now, Mario then picked up the purse in the bag and fled. He advised that he kept the purse and the wallet that was inside of it. The rest of the contents he threw in the trash. Mario claimed that he still had the purse and that it was in the motel room. He verified that he had the shoes and a coat that were worn during the offenses. He's like, oh yeah, well, you were wearing something different. Do you have that? He's like, yeah, it's in my room. Like, oh, okay, thanks. It's great. It's in your suitcase? Yeah, it's on the side. I keep it there just sitting. Like, oh, thank you. So Mario was then shown a photograph of Kristi Noem. They're like, do you have any idea who this is? He's like, hey, no conoces. He said, denied any prior knowledge of who they were. No idea. It was Kristi Noem. He said he had a good recollection of this offense, but stated he could not remember the other offense. He's like, I remember that one. Yeah, but I don't know who she is. Now, Bustamante was then shown video stills from the other offenses, the 12th and the 17th. He identified himself in the video stills. Yep, that's me too. And that's me too. He was also shown a news story from a British publication during his arrest in 2014 for a series of thefts that occurred in London, England. So this guy came from England. He was stealing from you and they sent him over here. Friends in the UK. The story detailed that Bustamante had been arrested in London for stealing designer bags and purses. He's an international thief. Incredible. The article included a photograph and he was shown this photograph. He says, yep, that's me. The Brits want him too. So he was also asked about suspect number 2, who we'll talk about next. Stated that he had recently met suspect number 2 days before, stating that he disclosed that suspect number 2 had rented motel rooms together to save money. And he was shown photographs of suspect number 2 and verified him. Yep, that's him. Repeatedly stated the gift cards that he used were provided to the other guy. So I didn't use them. The other guy did. Advised that the Amex gift card that was used on the morning of April 26th that led to his arrest was not his. No, I didn't use that one. Okay, suddenly disavowing all the activity. Got it. So then on April 27th, members of the Secret Service, other officers, Perlman and Gargak, they got a search warrant from the Superior Court in DC and searched his room. They got a bunch of stuff. Kristi Noem's purse and wallet. They got the Amex gift card. They got a black jacket with the white fur collar, pair of Nike camouflage sneakers, a business card belonging to the manager of the Quality Inn, $3,100 in US cash, a €5 note, a smart trip card. The jacket, Nike sneakers were recovered from room 311, appear to match the ones that he wore on the robbery dates. And the smart trip card was the one that he was traveling back around with, all flagged by him. So accordingly, in conclusion, they write between April 12th and April 26th, Mario devised and intended to devise a scheme to defraud 3 victims to take their money under false pretenses. He stole credit cards. He used those credit cards. He made purchases and handed them off to suspect number 2. All of the servers are located out of state. We've got Atlanta, Georgia is being pinged to do that. Phoenix, Arizona is being pinged to do that. 3 victims, wire fraud, and more. And so accordingly, the U.S. Secret Service submits via Stephen May criminal charges against the purse thief, illegal alien who broke into our country and then robbed many American citizens, not just Kristi Noem, but many Americans who work hard for their money and for their things should not have to face this abuse from imported illegal aliens who are criminals. Now, there was a second illegal who also got caught up in this. We saw this just posted today, telling us that the second person who was suspect number 2 in there has also been identified as a Chilean national who also got handed a notice of expedited removal in this country, but was never removed. This person's name is called Christian Rodrigo Montesino Sanzana, was busted in Miami on Sunday after he and another illegal were caught. First guy got caught, Mario. This next guy is called Christian. Yeah. And here's a picture of this guy, Christian Rodrigo Montesino Sanzana. The second illegal also got wrapped up, right? Looks like the photos that we saw in the first one, the taller dude. Both of them now caught, telling us that he was released into the U.S. in January 2021. Thanks, Joe, for doing that, despite U.S. Border Patrol issuing him a notice of expedited removal. So it's weird. It's like he's already had a ton of due process, but he's still in the country. Now, if we want to remove him, the liberals start to scream that there is no due process. He was apprehended trying to sneak across the southern border in December. They caught him, let him in anyways. Here you go. And now we got to fight to deport them out? How much due process did they afford all these people who they stole their purses? 0. So thank you for confirming to us that there are double standards that exist. You want them all in, but you'll do everything that we can to get them back out. His arrest came shortly after Mario got nailed. Charges against him are pending. We'll see those drop, no doubt about it. They stole the purse from Kristi Noem, and now they've been caught. And so, of course, that is good news.